And we're live. Woo! Oh, that's fast. I
we're live.
I didn't even count down.
Yeah, you didn't put that down. What the hell? Are you really live?
Rookie mistake. Yes.
Okay. Hey, we're
Hey.
live.
Hello, everyone.
What is it? Oh, China checking in.
Uh-oh.
You opening it? China checking in. I can see some chat now, I think.
Yoga Studio by Calder.
Yeah.
True. We're all gonna do some yoga, namaste. Let's be zen. Let's all start with a downward facing dog.
Let's go.
Ah. There he is.
Oh. So there's the man.
That's bad.
The mastermind behind the scene, right?
Yeah. So welcome to the live stream today. Today we have a special live stream because we're live streaming from China, and Eric from his home base, of course, hosting the live stream. You do have to give us some feedback on the microphone quality and the camera quality. We can't help, whatever it is right now. But if the microphone is okay or not, or the sound levels are okay or not okay, please let us know. So.
Ni hao.
Yeah. So. While we're figuring out the audio quality, this is Kevin. So,
hi guys.
And Kevin is our key guy now at Wooting. And maybe if you read the last blog post that we made, you can also read a bit about Kevin and how Kevin joined Wooting and the reason why we wanted Kevin to join the Wooting team. And I think especially during this trip now in China, doing the factory visits, we found another very valuable point about Kevin. But then, other than he can speak Chinese, obviously, which is very helpful, he also very much understands what we're trying to do, which is really great, especially since he's been with us now for a fairly short period only, right?
Yeah.
It's only since July, so.
Yes.
3 months?
3 months already?
Oh my God, is that fast now?
So fast.
3
months.
months.
3rd month now.
3 months, yeah.
So I want to introduce Kevin a bit first before we go into all the China stuff. So I don't want to put you on the spot immediately, Kevin, but
I already feel.
Yeah, okay.
I'm on the spot. Yeah.
But we can start with maybe we start with a little bit of a background information kind of idea where let's see.
Where I joined the team, or
when
the first
time
we met each other.
Yeah, sure.
It's on last year's. I think it's on Taichung. Of course, it's in Taiwan. It's a keyboard meetup in Taichung, in July. I think it's the end of the July or
somewhere in this time.
Yeah, and so at that time, individual industrial designer to take part to design a mechanical custom keyboard we call the Doppio, and I'm working very closely to a guy Barry, and he's kind of a keyboard brand in Taiwan that's called PK keyboard or something like that. It's called Play Keyboard, yeah. And after the meetup, there's lottery or
it's like a giveaway.
Giveaway.
Lottery giveaway.
So because I'm interested, I got a ticket. So I won a Wooting one
keyboard.
Linear, red linear keyboard, right? So this is just the very beginning of what I called it. And after the
I'll tell you. Well, when we had the giveaway happening, I was at the meetup with Yenny, and we were close. Like it was at the end, we were close to leaving, and we are just like taking a look at the lottery that who is going to win the Wooting keyboard. And then Kevin won the keyboard, and I was looking. I was like, that guy looks pretty stylish, you know. I have feeling that he's doing something that can be really useful, probably. Because I think I also saw that you have you showed it later, the Rama numpad, right? That sealed the deal for me. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I saw it, and Yenny was really like, we should just say hi to the giveaway winner. And I was like, we should, in either case, say hi to the giveaway winner. So then I walked up to Kevin, and we started talking a bit. about what he was doing, and then he already shared.
Yeah, the Rama keyboard I just received, like I think it's the beginning of the July that time. It's a M6A, I think, just a pure polish matte.
Erik has one actually. You
Right.
can show it, Erik.
Oh,
I think Erik has that one.
Wait,
it's super
which
heavy.
one? Which one?
Your Rama
Oh,
thing.
yeah. Sorry.
M6, right?
What's this thing? Yes, the M6.
It's
Yeah, true. This one. The
And
little.
why I buy this because I haven't had the time to buy the 65% Rama disc, so it's such a shame. So I just buy the little numpad, so it's kind of a memory of I have a Rama
Rama
product, you know,
product. For people who don't know who Rama is kind of like a keyboard enthusiast keyboard maker.
And he is basically the industrial designer. He is.
Yes,
he
yeah.
is. And he's running this kind of we can call brand in Australia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And then he does. Let's say he does more of a in this one like half-year period or something, or almost a year period. He's making this one keyboard model that he hypes up, and then does the sill, and then makes it and
Go
then,
to manufacturing based, yes.
So it's very interesting, and he makes really nice stuff. But it's also
It's
of
very
course-
high end and it's a very high price.
Yeah. So yeah, that's when we met the first time, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then we stayed in contact because when he shared that he was a product designer or industrial designer, right?
Yeah.
I felt like, okay, this is something very useful, and we will have a next keyboard model, and we should see if maybe Kevin can help us make the next keyboard model, could do the design. And that's always been in the background.
Yeah.
And the only thing was we never got the chance to actually kick off the new project all the time because there was always something in between up until we were getting close to Computex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And before the computers, we have started to have some emails. I think I give you a quotation of a roughly new design or something like that.
Yeah. We had.
But at that time, I still have I can call day job, right?
Yeah.
As I have a day job as an industrial designer in Lianli, and Lianli is a Taiwan brand aluminum. I won't call high end, but aluminum.
I think our viewers should know Lian Li, right?
Yeah, you guys should know Lianli.
Yeah.
And basically, I'm the chassis designer at that time when I reached to coder with some kind. We want to make some kind of a new keyboard design. I think it's the beginning of this year. It's February or March.
That's when we really started talking about this keyboard
it's
concept.
more like serious talk.
Yeah,
at
true.
that time.
Yeah, we already had the idea of what we kind of wanted to make. Just nothing was on paper, so you have like this typical Calder situation.
Yeah.
Very dreamy, talking about all these things you want to see in a keyboard.
You want to all of the features into one keyboard. Wow. I'm joking. Okay. And so after the talking,
I think the next moment was
is the Computex,
Yeah,
right?
Computex was a very important period because when we got to the Computex time, we really recognized our we already recognized what our largest weakness was, but we recognized that this weakness was bigger than we thought, coming to the point of we didn't have anybody that does the ID internally. And the second part was that we also felt we could really use another person to deal with the shit we have to deal. I guess I have to put it that way. But we didn't think about hiring anybody yet at that point. And then Computex was there, and it was extremely busy. So much things going by. We had the Lecker switch coming out and everything. And Kevin was actually not too far away. A couple.
Yeah, I'm on another. I think it's another place of the booth. Yeah, it's a Lianli booth because I still an industrial designer at Lianli at that time, and there's some chassis I have been designed for, but we didn't have the time to talk to each other, and I think we missed to. I just run into you, but you didn't recognize me.
Oh shit!
Yeah, awkward. Yeah, but it's very lucky I took you in at the Computex and get a more clear picture about what Wooting are going to make with the Laker edition, Laker Switch, right? Yeah, and the Laker edition keyboard. And
I wasn't able to talk with Kevin during Computex in the end. because it was just so busy, and at that time I was walking around, and then thankfully you talked with Yulun, because then I was talking with Yulun during or a little bit like at the last day of Computex, we were on our way to somewhere. I was talking with Yulun, and Yulun said, "Hey, I talked with the Kevin guy, and it was a good conversation. I was pretty surprised, blah blah." And I don't know what it was that triggered us. We were already talking about, what we're really missing within Wooting and what should be the next thing we should be doing. And I was like, yeah, why don't we just ask Kevin? Isn't he just interested in a job otherwise? So at that time, I gave you a quick call.
Just the end of the Computex.
End of Computex.
Yes. The 9, I think.
Yeah. I was like, Kevin, how happy are you at your job?
He was like, you suck your job. It's, oh no.
Yeah. I knew Kevin wasn't too happy where he was working.
I kind of get bored because it's just the chassis,
And since then, thankfully, Kevin was very interested to work with us. I don't know. We all didn't know exactly what to expect. And then we had a couple of conversations before we did let's say the whole official thing. And during those conversations, we just tried to give a clear picture about how it works at Wooting, and then just cross our fingers that once he gets started, it's the
everything
right fit.
Will be fine.
Right? Yeah. But I think I can say now after
it's kind of smooth.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. No, I'm really surprised.
From the sketch of being a product designer or the industrial designer and just doing the designs, it's kind of more smooth than my previous job. I think. Yeah.
It's more fun, right?
You think? His previous job is more like this. Kevin, I want you to make these 3 designs. It needs to be done by next month.
No, just done by next hours.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Just 3 designs, different designs. It's just one day. It's killing me.
But I think. Yeah, go ahead, Erik.
After a whole day of work, it's like, nah, Kev, we didn't like it. Start over. Next day.
Oh yeah.
Change this, change that.
Yeah, that's right. That's every day I am facing before this job, I think.
But now after a few months, Kevin has really proven that he's a really great fit within the team. He's been able to take ownership on different tasks. He's been doing the Vistas project we'll be talking about in a minute. He's doing really great with the Vistas project until so far. No, I'm just joking. No, he's really doing a great job with the Vistas project, and he's shown that he has taste in design also. And I think we're going to have some really great product designs in the future. And now during this trip in China, he's quickly picking up on the things that we're doing and which direction we're taking, and he's really able to communicate that also to the other side. Because usually when it comes to trips in China, it's like you can only communicate surface stuff, and sometimes we do have somebody with us that would speak Chinese, but would not necessarily understand what we're trying to really convey to the other side, that being a manufacturer or maybe potential customer or whatever. But now with Kevin, and
there's always a 没问题 situation. It's always okay in Chinese. When you are a foreigner, I'm sorry, I have to use the foreigner word, because when you are a foreigner, you have to work with a Chinese company, and the Chinese factory guy will always say, no problem, 100% we have to do this, we can do that. And in the end, I think the reach the point like 30% can be done, right? 30% is a very, very small percentage.
Yeah, and that's when you find out actually there is pretty much problems and stuff that doesn't work out.
Yeah. Unless the ugly truth, the factory guy won't tell you at the first beginning. Yeah.
But I think, I don't know, and now you are able to cut in more through the bullshit, basically. But we'll see what.
But even in this thing, we still have to face in those bullshit.
Yeah. We already faced some.
I'm already have these 2 days, right? But we have to be more careful, because I understand Chinese, so I totally know what they really can provide, or what just bullshit. Basically, it's in these situations, yes.
So it's so now that we're in China and we've been here now for
Wait. Let me
third day now.
Let me interrupt you real fast. Let's catch up with the chat a little bit.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
So
I just enlarged the chat so we can see a little bit.
It's
Go
great
ahead.
to see Mr. Pleasant. I hope he's doing well. Fraser is back. That's great. And everyone who's watching, so that's pretty amazing. We have Wizard Mortal, who really wants a 6% keyboard. He really wants it. And then we have Rocky, who thinks that I look great, but I mean, that's not a surprise. Aya really wants a Wooting mouse. Quinn is happy that it's a new person on the stream, and I think we're all happy that we can finally show Kevin to the world.
Yeah, this is the first appearance also. Huh?
Yeah.
Fusion Thunder, when is the Wooting 1 Lacquer edition coming out? There probably will be one day when we have a Wooting 1 with lacquer switches in it, but it won't be a lacquer edition, because this is just a special edition that's only for the Wooting 2 for the full size, and yeah, it's just a boutique one-time gig. Yes.
Yeah, so we'll see which direction things go into. I think in general we always have an idea of what we want to do as a next thing or as a follow-up, but we don't have like a very clear pipeline of the next product yet, because we just have to focus on what's in front of us most of the time.
True. So, I mean, you guys are in China doing all kinds of factory visits and cool business stuff, so I mean, start talking. Something cool you guys can share? I mean, I also see Kevin holding like the wrist rest in his hands, and he's also probably very excited to show it. Yes, go for the wrist rest.
Introducing the wrist rest project, right?
Yeah, let's introduce the wrist rest project.
So this is the silicone samples. We decided to use silicone instead of, I think, another PU foam or something like that.
Yeah,
we decided to use silicone because silicone can last longer and it's very resistant about any kind of environment, and it can be very smooth on the surface because we have a very smooth coating on this thing.
Maybe even before we go very deep into the wrist rest, you can already kind of show it, because I don't think anybody's seen it, right? Has anybody seen our wrist rest yet?
Only some pictures here and there, but not really live in action.
So let's so to introduce the wrist rest project, everybody knows it's been going on for a while, but it's really since Kevin came on board, he was able to fully realize what we originally were aiming for and do even a much better job at it also, which is going for the full silicone wrist rest.
Yeah.
And Kevin went really, it started with the design, where he'll get into, and then it went to the material, because silicone material has a lot of different things, right?
Yeah.
Which he'll also get into. And now we're getting to the point where we're finalizing on color and the coating and the hardness and everything, right?
Yes.
So let's start with the design part. What happened? Let's try to show it. I don't know if I need more light. And then you can start on the design part.
For you guys to get closer if you really want to show it.
Yeah. I'm thinking if I can
do it, I do the talk.
Yeah, you do the talking.
Okay. Basically, the design follows one layer.
This is a bit
idea.
Soft version.
And the wrist rest has a, I think it's a 5-degree slope, if you can see from the camera. And because the original Wooting 1 and Wooting 2 keyboard has a very full, I think it's 4.5 degrees of the slope, and I want to keep the same shape line through the keyboard to the wrist rest to create a kind of synchronized shape. So you can see at the top of the wrist rest, there is a very small rounded edge, because this part will connect to the Wooting 1 or the keyboard.
Here.
And the bottom part is a more larger rounded corner. So it's more like the place you place your hand is there. So basically, I just follow the design language from Wooting 1 and Wooting 2 and make some improvement and make some new design, and voila, this is the wrist rest.
And then we got into we started talking of silicone manufacturers, right?
Yeah.
And
After we decided choosing the silicone because we think this is the material we want and the material we want to show to you guys. So I pay a lot of visit in Taiwan to find a very good one silicone factory, but it turns out it's not much silicone factory in Taiwan anymore. It's more like in China in here, and still the pricing is really has a large range from Taiwan to China.
Still very big gap.
Yeah, and so at the end we choose a China factory. Yeah, and they do a lot of bunch of silicone products, I think,
including sex toys.
Yeah.
Very important to note. They know you have the best one.
If they can make the sex toy works, they also can make this work. This is my thought. Okay.
So this is our whole philosophy, right? I mean, a sex toy can feel really nice to a body, and that's why this wrist rest will probably also feel very nice to your body.
Yeah, after you touching this surface, you imagine you are touching a sex toy. Okay.
Oh no, it's stuck in there.
besides this silicone, actually silicone has a lot of hardness from 10 degrees to 80 degrees. And the one coated has it's like 40 degrees. You can see this is a TKO version. This is the sample we made, and this will be almost the final product we have because the sample mode delivered the same quality as our final mode, the product mode. Okay, and this is the 40 degrees of the silicone, and there's a coating on top and the bottom. I can say the whole of the product, there's a very smooth coating. And this is I can say 289, right? It's a color sample we are tuning for the later edition.
Let me jump a little bit back on the silicone degrees you were talking about. Right?
Okay.
So with the silicone degree, it's really about the density of the silicone, which influences how hard it feels. So maybe you can show the difference between the 50 and the 40. You can see that when this one is 40, this one is 50. And you can notice that 40 is a lot softer and it wiggles more than the 50. So we also had a sample 60, and the harder it is, the more rigid it becomes and the more straight it will stay. So this gets closer to the sex toy situation for spanking, like Rocky says there. This would get closer to your dildo situation. Maybe you want to be a bit more stiffer.
Nice conclusions, Cody.
Yeah, because Frieza was asking when the Wooting dildo will come. Yeah.
Oh, but can you guys put it on the desk? Because some people ask like, hey, it looked kind of thin, and maybe you guys can put it on the table so people can actually see it, how it looks like flat. And if you guys also have a keyboard with you, that would be double amazing. Do you guys have a keyboard?
We have one.
There, one. There.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Only one.
Let me see.
Because I mean, the wrist rest should match the keyboard, right? Oh, what's this?
Yeah.
It's a Wooting 2 with Lego switches.
Okay, let's see. Oh, it's such a sexy color, Kevin.
Yeah.
And I think another funny thing to mention is, hey, the wrist rest is too small.
Yeah, this is for 10 kilos, but we only have like full size here, so.
So this is like the wrist rest for the Wooting 1, and as you guys can see, there's like a little logo on the bottom right corner of the front plate, and that's, you know, just like the keyboard itself, very slightly there and visible. I think
if I put more light on it, maybe.
I think overall the design really complements the whole Wooting 1 and Wooting 1 and Wooting 2 keyboard.
It's a bit sticky. Okay.
Oh damn.
See, maybe it's a bit too close.
There's the logo.
Maybe a bit further.
Nice.
Yeah. I can see the logo. Yeah. So here we have the slope that Kevin was talking about.
So the slope from the Wooting 1 and Wooting 2 is both a bit differently, so that's why they the full size will fit the full size better than the 10 kilos one. Oh, what happened to the keyboard, by the way?
Yeah, this keyboard is a sample keyboard. Like this is the Yulumo. I should not say that. Wax it up. Yun uses this one for all his programming and the testing and that kind of stuff. So it's.
Is he eating the keyboard? That's insane.
But I think the great thing during the design process, it has a slope here now. In the beginning, this was completely straight, but we noticed during testing that having the slope really helps with comfort. And the great thing about the wrist vest is that it's a really big surface, and on this big surface, it doesn't matter if you have small or big size hands. You feel you have enough space to place your hand wherever you want. So it's a very comfortable, it's a very nice experience to have. And when it's on the table, it's also very sturdy. Like you just saw the flexibility when you're holding it, and you can't notice that on the table at all. So you can't like press through it or something like that. But at the same time, when you feel the surface, it's nice and soft. And that's also thanks to the coating, right?
Yeah, thanks to the coating.
Yeah. So there's also like let's say there's like a soft coating over the whole wrist vest, and this soft coating is something they would also use. Well, they would also use with the sex toys. Is the point? So it's also very skin
Very
friendly.
sexy.
It's very sexy indeed.
So it's a skin friendly coating, and the wrist vest doesn't stink at all. I assume it stinks when it just finishes production, but we got it like a week after it finished already, and it didn't smell at all already. So maybe it will change when it's in packaging. We'll find out, because usually a smell stays.
I think the smell will last if you just put it in a plastic bag, but after it's in a let's say open room or just in a room, you won't smell the stinky smell, or it's just a weird silicone
Nice
smell.
It's always in the
downplaying
beginning.
Nice downplaying
Yeah.
the whole
Oh,
wrist vest, like
sorry,
it smells
I didn't
and
want to
stinky.
downplay it. No, it's not stinky at all. It doesn't smell at all. It's just that it needs some breathing time, and then it's gone. So usually what I know from other manufacturer that did wrist vests, what they usually do is they produce it, and then they let it sit in the warehouse for a couple of days before they do the packing even.
I think another
There's
interesting
one more thing, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
Continue, Kevin.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Eric.
No, go ahead, Kevin.
Okay. Yeah.
There's one more thing we want to show you guys. This sexy pattern behind the.
What was the
wrist
name
vest.
again of the pattern?
This is I think it's a Cairo. How do you say 五角？五角。
Oh, yeah, you
Rectagon
mean
or
Pentagon.
Pentagon. Yeah, it's a Cairo pattern, I suppose, and it's been used by the Egyptian many years ago. And so you can see this pattern when you just flip 90 degrees is the same like this.
Oh, you mean here, right?
Yeah.
Same as here.
Same as here.
Yeah.
And this one, the vertical one and the horizontal one, is the same size. It just transform 90 degrees.
That is super sexy.
Yeah.
It is super
And-
sexy.
The Egyptians? Whoa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Egyptian.
You sold me on the Egyptians part, Kevin. Yeah. I feel it's kind of like the kind of like
The sexy part on this wrist vest.
yeah.
But it's pronounced like a Cairo pattern or a Cairo pattern. Like
I think
Cairo.
Cairo, K-A-I-O-R, or
So it's like the capital
Something.
of Egypt, right? Cairo? Cairo. It can also be Japanese, can be anything.
I don't really know the capital of the Egyptian.
We need it's Cairo.
Yeah, just that name, Cairo.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same name. According to the Wikipedia in Chinese,
yeah.
I don't really know. Maybe somebody.
We have to refine the story a bit. It will be
Oh my god.
That's
No, it's
We can edit the
it's
Wikipedia page, no problem. No problem.
Okay. Oh, you need
made by Wooting.
you needs the keyboard, so let's put the black one also here for a second.
So there's like a very interesting discussion we had, I think already like 3 or 4 weeks ago, about the quality and feeling, right? Because we have these multiple or different degrees, like 40, 50, 60, 70. And a while back, you guys had 3 samples there, a 40, 50, and 60. And visually, the 60 felt more better quality-wise, because that's less of a bend if you picked it up. But the 40 was more pleasant for use as a wrist rest, right?
Yeah. So about the hardness was our biggest concern was basically the softer you went with the silicone material, the more chance it felt more comfortable. That's what it kind of came down to. But the problem with going more soft was that this one, for example, this is 40.
Oh,
it
can
got
you
really
bend
soft.
and twist the 40?
Oh yeah.
Let me show you.
Oh yes.
Look at this.
Ooh.
It's so flexible. It's great. You can, roll it up, bring it with you, be very, how do you say it, abusive with it, and it won't.
Yeah. It just stay the same.
It will stay the same. That's wow.
Doesn't
I really love
shake
it about
at
it.
all. It's all the same now.
Last time when you guys did it, I was like really sweating. It's like, oh, won't it like break or tear or anything? But it's like, nah, it's cool.
So when choosing between the hardness, right, and this being 40, it is when you hold it like this and when you feel it, because it's softer, it might feel that the quality is less, even though it makes really no difference. So that's why we had to choose kind of between. We had to go for a harder silicone material. So this is 50. And with 50 was that it was just hard enough so it didn't bend down too much, it doesn't wiggle too much, but especially when you hold it, you can feel it's more sturdy. And it just gives it a bit more of a quality feel, even though, again, it doesn't make any difference.
You would even
So,
assume
It
that
would be more hard to twist it.
More hard to twist it.
Yeah.
It's still very twistable.
Is the assumption that the 40 is maybe more durable in the long run than a 50 or a 60?
That should be an assumption, but we can't say because we're not the silicone manufacturer.
Yeah.
But we can check that.
This point tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
After we pay a visit at the silicon factory.
And Chat really wants RGB lights in it. Can you include RGB lights, Kevin, please? We need RGB lights.
I mean, if there's any more questions about the wrist rest.
What about packaging?
definitely not-
When is the packaging done?
Oh, that's a good question. From the
Where
audience.
is the packaging?
Where is the packaging? No, we're sort of still in the process of finalizing also the packaging. We have like a general idea and a very, how would you say, the focused idea where we want to end, but we still don't have a final, a really final thing. But it's coming along. But Carlo, when is this going to be available?
So tomorrow we're visiting the silicone manufacturer to do a final check, tune the color, and confirm the model that we want. And once that's confirmed, we can start opening the tooling for it.
Yeah.
And we can do the production. Okay, and in between there somewhere is packaging.
Yeah.
FYI.
After we done the color tune of the sample, we can just begin to do this packaging thing.
Would there be a sample of the packaging already?
I believe so. We can have the packaging tomorrow, but I have to check.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Stay tuned. While the mold process is ongoing, the packaging will be finalized, and then it goes onto a boat, and then it goes to on our store for sale. So this is one of the few times. This is the first time that we'll be releasing a product, and it's actually already on its way, so it can be shipped within. We aim to sell when we just have it on stock, so we can ship immediately. But we want to sell in December already. So right now the timeline is that we will have it by that time, but maybe there's a few weeks difference. Who knows? But in December it will be available. Yeah.
Hopefully. No, but that.
No. this project, surprisingly, like
It's going to very smooth.
super smooth.
Super.
Well, I think because there aren't any RGB lights or electronic components, it's a lot easier. I mean, making a physical product always has its challenges, but compared to a keyboard, it's easier to produce something like this and to make it, work. And
That's we talked about this a little bit back. It was like, oh damn, we should do like more of these like simple products because it's so much easier. Holy crap! And then now we have Jeroen there fixing something about the keyboard, bruh.
how much will the dildo
so
cost?
much more
wrist
complicated.
rest, Calder.
Sorry.
How much will the dildo?
How much will
Wrist rest cost?
So we haven't set a final price yet, but
Just a general thing, like between this and this.
so what we're trying, so to give you an idea what we're trying to do is get to the same price as a PC Master Race wrist rest. This is exactly how we're thinking. Get the same price as a PC Master Race wrist rest, but PC Master Race wrist rest is little. Yeah, well, I mean, the reason why.
Quinn,
we
hold
want
your
to do
horses. Call the rent time, bitching about other brands. Let's go.
Here comes the rant time, okay? Everybody loves PC Master Race wrist rests, and I ordered the wrist rests to inspect them and do our research, right? To see like how can we make good wrist rests. It cost like $24 from what I remember, like $23.90 or something. So let's say $24.
$26 for the regular 25mm thickness and a full size.
Oh, really? Yeah, I think if you go thinner, maybe it's $2 cheaper. I'm not sure. So let's just say to make it a bit easy, it's a $25 product, okay? I had pretty high expectations because you could get like cheaper wrist rests, similar style wrist rests also for maybe like anywhere between the $8 up till let's say $18, okay? So I received it, and what a disappointment. And I know it's not good to, because this is my moment to grind my gears, okay? It was just such a disappointment because you see so many people talking so positively about it, and you see so many people using it, and then you pay a pretty big price for it, and the quality is just like, what the hell, The board, the thing that surprised me the most, that the whole board on the bottom of the wrist vest that holds everything together is, how do you say it in English? In Dutch you say papier mache.
Cardboard.
It's not even cardboard. It's like recycled paper that's mushed together with lime, so it becomes one whole piece after you dry it. It's like the cheapest thing you can ever use for such a thing. So you break it, you can like, I broke it in two actually. The wrist rest.
The English word is the same as the French word, papier mache.
Papier? Really? You're shitting me?
Papier mache.
So that was kind of disappointing, and from that moment on, we felt that we can make a much better wrist vest the same price point. So that's kind of why we're aiming for that price point. But obviously, doing the silicone wrist vest is more expensive than doing the wrist vest that they have, which is a standard off-the-shelf type of wrist vest you plaster your brand on wrist vest. So the highest I think it can go up to is 30. That's our limit. Like, we don't want to go any higher than 30.
Really?
40K or full size?
Wow, I'm surprised.
Full size, I'm not sure.
30 for 10 kilos?
For 10 kilos, yeah.
Is that your maximum price?
Well, that's the goal, yeah.
Oh, that's actually pretty decent. I thought like we would be somewhere between the 25 and 50 euros, or 40 maybe. 39.99. But 29.99 sounds even better. I mean,
I know.
Don't we need to pay Kevin? I mean, is Kevin free labor?
I have to check my contract.
So it's just from rough calculations right now, and looking at how much value do we need to get out of the wrist vest. It's more that I would rather use the wrist vest right now to make it a very good complement to the keyboard that we have right now. Also show how you can have a better product at the same price as our biggest competitor, so we can also get more awareness out there of our brand. I think that's a stronger point than that we try to, get the full price for the quality you're getting from the product. Yeah. So
I mean,
let's see.
Frezo-
30 euros for a wrist vest is already pretty much, I'd say. I know, but that's the crazy thing. Wrist vests are, if you go for a leather one, for example, you're already at the 40, 50 euros. So.
And is the wooden wristband
I mean,
more expensive?
Doesn't need to be. It depends on the wood and
How
the quality.
would you choose?
You
right?
can go. Yeah, you can have really crappy wood
Yeah.
wrist vest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting all the splinters.
No, not that bad.
I mean, probably if let's say we stay in the space of the glorious PC Master Race, probably if we would make a similar wrist vest to them with our logo on them, and with our profit margin, we would probably sell it for like 15 euros, maybe 17.
Wait.
Think
This
about
thing,
it.
this wrist vest.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Well, not 50 or. Did you say 50 or 70?
15 or 17 euros if we would make the exactly the same wrist vest as the PC.
Oh, right.
Master
Yeah,
Race.
yeah. For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That would be for sure. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think a wrist vest that really complements the keyboard. One hand, I can imagine 30 euros is kind of expensive. On the other hand, you get so much quality back for it. And I think if we were like a decent company with all this marketing and crazy stuff, we would probably sell it for like 40 or 50 euros, to be honest. Because I think that is worth the wrist vest, quality-wise.
Yeah. I'm pretty confident to say yes for that. You should. I think you should look around also for full silicone products, and you see that silicone material
I mean,
is not cheap.
look at your average dildo. That's at least like 70 euros. But then again,
Yeah.
you
And
can
trust
put it
me,
aside.
that's
Yeah.
not electronics.
And it's the medical grade dildo.
Medical grade.
And we use the same grade of the silicone.
Yeah.
So it's a medical grade wrist vest silicone. Yeah.
Exactly.
But
Just
still
like
don't eat
the
it.
dildo.
We can use it for my. I really need a butt lift, you know.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Tino just
Tino.
jumped in. Hey man.
Show the wrist
Yeah, you
vest,
totally
Tino.
missed the wrist vest.
Too
dude.
late, Tino. Too bad. Too bad. Sandwich bread.
Every me Tino misses it every time. Just for you. Okay, just for you, Tino.
Oh, Tino.
We have here.
Should you give the audience the starting point, the height of the front edge is how much?
Oh right, yeah, you can say the height of the wrist vest.
We said the wrist vest height from the starting point is like 20 millimeters, and the end point is like
That noise is
20.
awful, though.
Oh, that's what you. No, that's
The end
silicone
point
on glass.
is like 20 millimeters at the end, so it's just like average wooden wrist vest, I think.
Okay, now,
Did you hear that about the size, Eric?
no, we only heard like the fart noises, the dildo.
The
wrist
fart
vest makes.
noises. So you say okay. So let's do it one more time, Kevin. So the highest point of the wrist vest, which is
20 millimeters.
which is 2 centimeters. Now.
Yeah, 2 centimeters.
Yeah.
And the start point is 12 millimeters.
So then you have a slope.
Yeah.
From the
From
20 to the.
Yeah, to the 12. Yes.
So I'm really excited. Again.
First, I'll ask of the silicone dragging across the glass.
The noises. It's like.
And look, if you should just buy 2, and then you can satisfy yourself.
Oh, this is pretty. Damn. Mmm. Oh man. Now I need to. Now I really need to. Nice.
You want more fart noise?
It's like cleaning the windows. Oh, of course you can use to clean the windows. That's so insane. It's like, Tino,
It's the same.
you're in the winter, middle of Finland. You want to go with your car? It's full of snow. Just grab your wrist vest and wipe the whole winter. Windshield clean. That's so amazing. Such a great product. Multifunctional. Oh yeah, and the pattern underneath is the Cairo pattern. It's ancient Egypt, super spooky and magical. Something with Wikipedia we still need to adjust.
This is going to be on the product page though, for sure.
Yeah. It will be a history.
Yeah.
Story page.
Yeah. We're gonna like we can do it like the B&O.
If
Yeah, nice,
Cleopatra used the Wooting 1, she would have bought this wrist rest. For sure.
Silicone isn't hard enough to get the ice.
Now
off,
the
though.
snow of the window and the
Oh,
the snow,
right.
not the ice. I mean, it's not freezing, teammate.
So it's at the edge.
Snowy.
Yeah. Well, actually, the silicone can be pretty hard because once you get to 60,
We
right?
get at 60. It's really, really hard, right?
ready, yeah.
Yeah, it's already
It's
like a
pretty
brick.
Yeah. So that really well. Okay. Anyway, so tomorrow we'll be at the silicone manufacturer, and we'll also be making a vlog about the silicone manufacturer to show how they make the silicone products and how they'll make our wrist vest. We have our sample mold there also, and oh my God, talking about making the wrist vest. It's a very slow process. It's a very slow process. If we would be a major band, I don't think we would be able to do it because it's just too slow. Or you need to have a lot of cavity molds.
Yeah.
Anyway,
The mold we have is only have 2 capacity, so you can just produce 2 at the same time.
yeah. Is that whose phone is ringing? Is that my phone?
I don't know. It's not my phone.
Shit. Oh no, it's mine.
Everybody
Oh, that's
panic.
okay.
Oh, we need to answer the phone because somebody's calling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No worries. So anyway, so we'll be at the silicone manufacturer tomorrow. We'll be filming a vlog for that. We actually already filmed vlog material for the keycap manufacturer, showing the double injection machine and the sample room and the color picking that we've been doing. We shot some material at the switch manufacturer, how the switch is made, particularly how lacquer switch will also be assembled, and it's really cool stuff. So just now need to.
I'm already excited for the vlogs, and probably the first one will hit next week somewhere, depending on how busy you guys are in China. But
Yeah.
still, it's
Yeah.
I'm very excited for it because I always think it's interesting to see it, especially here from the Netherlands, and yeah, it's always informative and educational.
I'm just missing some music. Think about it again.
Hey, Skizzle TV, he says he's very happy with his Wooting keyboard. I'm glad you're happy with it.
So,
The next thing.
yes. What is the next thing?
Well,
Do we
that's
have a
it.
specific next thing? No, okay. I mean, the rest
We
of
have
the-
confirmed the keycaps of the colors
Right.
of the Laker edition.
Oh, right. So, okay. I mean, yeah, we made the vlog material, but we already went to the keycap manufacturer for the Lekker edition keycaps. And we still need to make the final sample of the keycaps. Before we can make the final sample of the keycaps, we have to confirm the final colors. Yes. And it's a funny story actually, because you know from the keycaps we have a white keycap, we have let's say what's the correct word? Turquoise keycap. We call it Wiffany.
I think it's more teal.
Or
than
teal.
turquoise.
It's a teal.
Oh, okay, teal is correct. Yeah, okay. We have a white keycap, we have a teal keycap, and we have a yellow keycap. But we want these colors to be all the same over all our product, wherever that color comes back into. So we have to pick like one single color, make sure it matches with every piece of the product. So we already went through this whole like Pantone story, and our blue Pantone changed a couple of times, but the yellow and the teal Pantone
Stayed the same.
Yes,
Almost
exactly.
the same, yes.
Almost, yeah. So at the keycap manufacturer, we checked about the teal and the yellow color keycap. So basically, before we went to the keycap manufacturer, we needed to have some kind of sample, reference sample.
Yeah.
Because the problem with Pantone colors, and we've done it a couple of times now before, is you can give a Pantone color to a manufacturer, and they will try to match the Pantone color, but there's so many issues you can have
because Pantone color and the Pantone flyer is just we can say it's a reference for printing and printing only. So basically, if we come up with like color pitching in the chip, especially the plastic one, we have to make plastic chip for one color per chip. And so Pantone color will be like only the reference to tune the colors until the color is the perfect match to us or to the guy they want to order the chip. So at this moment, we have almost the correct color chip matching to the Pantone color. And because Pantone, the company knows there's a bunch of the plastic company keep complaining about the color matching problem from the printing to the real sample, so they just release this. This is the whole chip, and one of these costs $25 USD for one chip. So we bought 3. Yeah. And we have to cut it
so much.
yeah. R&D is just super. And we have to cut it off for many chip to send it to the keycap factory or bottom cap factory to get a color sample. And after a lot of time to tuning the right color, there's a confirmed sample that we have to sign our name on it. And this will be the I think we can call it Wooting confirmed chip for the color sample.
Sure. Because from what I've heard, others use the golden sample is how they call it. Okay. So this would be like the golden sample is the final color sample. It's very important you keep that sample because that's your only reference to the color that you're able to agree on.
Yeah. And at this stage, you have to forget what you have at first time at the Pantone color or the Pantone chip, because this is not important anymore, because the confirmation or the confirm come from the chip you sign on it.
Yeah, exactly. So now we have these 2 chips from the keycap manufacturer that tune based on our Pantone colors, the final color. So these are like our 2 golden samples now. So also when they make the keycap samples and we receive them, we use these chips to confirm if they have the correct color or not. And the manufacturer also has these golden samples so they can confirm if they have the right color or not before they do a whole production. So that was what we did at the keycap manufacturer.
Yeah.
And then we were, was that today?
No, it's yesterday.
Was yesterday?
Yeah, it's yesterday.
The
time.
No, this one was yesterday. No, I mean, sorry, the Switch was
from
today, right?
The other countries in China. Yeah, China has a different time zone.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just joking.
No, but today we went to the Switch factory, right?
Yeah, today we went to the Switch factory to check on the samples for the liquid switch.
Yes, okay, yeah, exactly. The Switch.
It's a long story.
Oh my god. So I think so we went to the Switch manufacturer to talk about the status of the Switch and see if we can solve our last issue. So what is a little bit annoying right now is that the Switch, like the whole Switch design is finalized, and we can't change much to it anymore, and it's also a little bit unfortunate that we can't change that much anymore. But at some point you just have to say this is what it is, because otherwise it will never stop. But the thing that we're running into right now is that on a manufacturing level, you need to be able to smoothly install the switches onto the plate. And right now, to install the switch requires quite some force to push it in. And that's kind of an issue if you're planning to install the switches manually. And originally we thought, because of this 1000 production, we'll probably install this manually because it's just like this one time, this keyboard, it's not 1000 is not a lot. So manual would make the most sense. The requirements for the assembly factory would be much lower. Not to get too much into the whole machinery that comes with it. But it kind of looks like we should underestimate it.
We didn't thought it's that complicated, I think.
Yeah, we didn't think it would be that complicated, but we've been going through a hell of experience from top plate manufacturer to switch manufacturer to assemble factory about how are we going to install this switch in the right way.
Yeah.
Because as soon as we, for example, change the top plate, so you have the top plate of the keyboard, and then you have the holes, right? So these holes are called cutouts in this case. And when you and the cutout is a specific size so the switch can fit in. Thing is, like, the smaller the cutout is, the more difficult to install the switch, but the more stable the switch is inside the cutout. The bigger the cutout, the easier to install the switch, but also the more loose the switch is on the top plate. So we've been really, really trying to make sure that the switch is inside the top plate, like tight, sturdy, like no movement possible at all. But now it's kind of biting in our ass.
FYI, why we very insist to have a very fitting, stable of the switch, because the Hall effect sensor have to read a very straight line from the magnet.
Yeah.
So any you can finish it.
Yeah, so maybe some of you that have the flat keyboard, for example, some of you know that when you press the key all the way to the end, you start wiggling it around, right? You might be able to change the signal of the analog signal that is reported, and that's because when you start wiggling it around, the stem moves, and it then moves the lens. So with the magnet switch right now, if you move the stem, you move the magnet. Now, we're not 100% sure how big the impact can be, but we already have experience with the FlareTech switch that any kind of movement is a disadvantage. So from the start, we're just trying to avoid as much as possible movement at all.
Yeah.
Because the more stable the switch is in the plate, and the less the stem moves, the more stable and clean the signal is that we're receiving from, in this case, the magnet. But we overdid it a bit, I guess, because now installing the switch is a pretty
heavy
job. It's tiresome to do by hand. So we're kind of figuring out how we're going to solve this issue. So that
was the story behind the switch right now.
And that's what we were doing at the switch manufacturer. And then next week we'll be at our assembly manufacturer, where we'll be looking also at the same issue and see what their opinions are, because it looks like more and more that we really do need to use a machine to auto assemble the switch. It's
it moves.
It's ghostly.
So if the question is like, why don't you use an auto assembly machine straight off the bat, right? The thing is that an auto assembly machine cannot just do any type of switch just like that. So we have the cameraman making changes here.
We now have a cameraman?
Quality of the stream is the most important thing.
Okay.
I would know it a little bit more, Jeroen. Just a tiny bit more.
He's already gone now. So auto assembly machine cannot just install whatever switch it wants. If you want to install a different type of switch, you need to invest in a lot of tooling.
That's what we call assembly line in this case.
So we're trying to avoid having this big tooling cost for let's call it switch picker, which is like the auto assemble switch machine, because it's a very big expense, and it's just for 1,000 keyboards now. Let's see, and wherever we make that investment, we're kind of stuck with doing it there.
And start with the same design shape of the switch. We can do another new design of the, let's say, upgrade of the later switch
or anything.
As long as we just change the exterior of the switch, we have to invest a new assembly line.
And that's kind of a scary thought, especially since we just want to focus on, we just want to have like a good start of the 1000, focus on the technology part like always, and then see how the switch is, and then we can make improvements on top of it. But anyhow, that's what we're running into. So that's what's happening next week, and then that will kind of conclude our trip, and we'll be flying back.
Yeah.
And Sunday then? I mean, I didn't hear any planning on Sunday. What's going on Sunday? It's a free day? Is that possible? Is that allowed?
Sunday is Sunday very early in the morning. We're going to take a high-speed train, and we're going to try to enjoy our Sunday. But we'll see how it is, because probably it will be chilling, maybe in a coffee place, and I'll be trying to do vlog stuff. But we'll go to the mountain thing. I think we should definitely go to the 7-star mountain thing. Yeah. So Sunday, we'll see. Yeah.
Spannend, jongens.
So
Exciting.
spannend, jongens.
Exciting.
Yeah. I saw there's a question, or here. You want to say it, Eric?
Yeah.
Oops.
Hey, Jeroen. Just to be clear, the switches will still be swappable by the end user. Just takes more force / better, stronger tool? ?
So right now we're really in the beginning, when we just started with the switch, we were thinking, hey, we should make it a hot swappable switch, obviously. But as we were working on hot swappability, we also realized that you can get into a lot of issues with the movement, right? And we didn't want to make it overcomplicate the switch. So in the end, we decided to move towards let's say it's not hot swappable, but it's removable switch.
Yeah.
So this means that the switch, we don't know yet. Okay, that means that the switch is not made for hot swapping. So it's not made to pick it out with a tool and then change it for another, or change it around yet. We hope to get to that point at some point. But you are able to take off the plate and pop out the switches. We're still looking at if we can still have a tool to take out the switch, but then still it's not made to hot swap it, or take it out, put it back in, take it out, put it back in. It's not made for that. And again, the main reason why we went this direction is because when we were trying some hot swap designs, the hot swappability didn't work. Well, it worked, but it didn't work well enough to ensure that the switch would also be very stable and that we would not interfere with the technology part. So that would be the next challenge, is like, how can we make the switch also hot swappable
And also stable.
Yeah. And that is maybe a next generation. We don't know yet, because right now we're just focused on the technology and this switch first.
Yeah.
I'm late to the stream, Skip.nl, but is the wrist rest washable? And did you think about custom printing or something? Yeah, Kevin, how can you clean it?
I can answer the first question. Yes, it's washable. And first you can wash by water, and also you can clean it with alcohol. It's like a medicine alcohol. But you have
paint or alcohol pads. Yeah.
you have to wash. You have to clean it with some kind of cloth. Don't use the tissue. Don't use the general tissue to clean it, because the silicone itself will like kind of
Isopropane. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the tissue. Don't use the tissue.
don't use the tissue, and because they will the silicone will collect some kind of the dust, so
And
you have to
fibers
rewash
probably.
it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially toilet paper breaks very easily. So if you wipe over silicone,
Yeah.
it will.
I would not recommend to do that.
So better to clean
Yeah,
with
But you can
cotton
clean it
cloth.
with the cloth. We clean the
Glasses.
glasses. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how
Or
I
just
clean
throw it in
it.
a washing
Yeah.
machine, right?
I mean,
Machine washable.
just look
just
how
throw
you
it in
clean
the
dildos,
dishwasher.
right?
Yeah. I think we should double check this tomorrow, but the silicone should be able to throw in a dishwasher, like resist 40 degrees temperature.
We
We
can
need
ask.
to check.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to check that one.
And custom printing, well, we're not really into custom printing on
Not
any
sure,
of
I
the
don't think
products
so, I never
because it
seen
sort of limits the broad spectrum of
I think the
design.
print will fade away very soon.
Yes, so.
It's not durable.
Yeah.
Well, but
It's- it cannot like go into the.
Yeah, it cannot.
Yeah.
And even you can UV print it, it won't last very long. It's like maybe 1 month less.
I'd advise staying away from silicone with acid. I mean, your whole body should stay away from acid, right?
Oh, it's gone.
Battery is gone.
Oh, I'm unhearable.
I can still hear you a bit, but battery.
What's Kevin's
I
problem
need to
then,
throw
right?
you on speaker for a second. Wait. I think you need to unmute yourself on your phone, Eric.
Uh-oh. Well, I'm not muted on my phone, by the way. She couldn't have heard me.
Oh wait. Oh yeah. Shit. Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, we have sort of a general understanding
hear you.
on how you can clean and use the whole silicone part and what you can actually use with and what you shouldn't use with it. But Carlo and Kevin and Jeroen go to the factory tomorrow so they can get more information. And now there's like a really nice echo in the stream going on.
Oh, it is. Oh, I thought this would be soft enough.
Can't you put it behind you or something on the table? Is that better? I think this
Does this
better.
work?
It's still
Is
a
it
little bit
working?
there. But
Oh, it's picking up a lot.
I'll just shut up.
No. I don't know for how long we've been streaming, but we probably.
Okay, it's the end. Great stream. Bye guys. See you next
we
week.
need to round. I think we're getting to the point of rounding up, but I want to. Let's open up a bit more for questions or open discussion. Yeah. Pores plus sweat and grind is stack.
Okay, Kevin, a question for you. What's your zodiac sign?
Wooting socks in store when? Again. We should find a sock manufacturer.
We can have socks online this afternoon if you really want with a logo on it.
Oh right, they have socks also.
Yeah.
Right, we can do Wooting socks for you. Make it a bit waterproof, shape this core. So actually we saw a manufacturer who did PCB coating. It was the first time I saw them do it to actually do it. I didn't know really first how they did it. And apparently it's like a thin sheet of nylon that goes over the PCBA. They dip it into some kind of bath, and it comes out and it dries up, and then you have like a thin sheet of nylon basically over the whole PCBA, and that makes it waterproof. And
And the waterproof grade is like IP, I think 67 or
67. I don't
Yeah.
forgot what this is.
it's more like a commercial grade for the cell phones.
Wait, but that means you cannot put it underwater, right?
You can put it underwater.
You can put it
Yeah.
underwater?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why that's the meaning you use the and waterproof.
No, because you also have like waterproof where you can like
They
put a
say, like,
hose.
No, they say like water resistant. Or, like,
Oh,
Yeah, no, that's more like spats, but you could also have like a running tap water.
I see.
Running tap water?
Yeah.
Because if you submerge a product, you also have pressure involved,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
usually also lets the water.
oh, they have like grades for the pressure.
Yeah, so the higher the grade, the more deeper underwater it can go. At some point. Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, so about waterproofing, yeah, in theory it's possible to do that. But yeah, we don't have the facility for it right now. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
We still want to see Jeroen doing the stream.
What? Still want to stream?
We want to see Jeroen on the stream.
Oh, I want to see Jeroen on the stream. Jeroen!
My mom already stopped watching, so what's the point?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you can sit in this one.
So like this.
This is gezellig.
Yeah.
Look how
Yeah,
cozy.
you can't see.
Oh, I
here.
can't see here.
Let me play
I
this.
think I'm missing like stuff on the chat I have because I didn't see the whole. Is this okay? Live from China. Wait, we're already watching there. I see we're watching here.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to have it so high.
Whoa, Jeroen, you're so clear quality. Finally.
Yeah.
I finally recognize you.
It took me a trip to China to finally have a good quality. So, wristwatch.
Oh, Erik.
What's the
Yeah,
verdict?
Oshir Hofbeer mentioned a really good one. If the switch of the lacquer will not be replaceable, please update the FAQ. Moving topic to do this still counts as replaceable for me. Yeah, I mean, right now it's kind of in between. We already removed hot swappability from the page, if I'm right. Please double check that. We removed hot swappability because we know for sure we can't reach that point.
It's very strange to say here because it's also like I'm sitting in front of you.
It is.
It's okay.
So it's like
It's like two parallel.
Look behind you. But at least the switch are they are removable and you can replace them with a new one.
That's for sure.
That's for sure.
But
Yeah.
it's not user
Because
friendly.
there's no connection between the PCBA and the switch. Yeah. But again, isn't it okay? Isn't it usually to protect the circuit? Right. Okay. So you're saying just what? No. So Gatsushin, there's no soldering involved at all with the switches. It's just that the design of the switch is designed to stay very tight and well into the plate.
Yeah.
And because of that design, you need to use.
It won't be very easily to put out
Yeah,
from the cutout.
yeah.
Yeah.
You need to use a lot of force to get it out.
And a metal puller.
And a metal puller. Yeah. So there's a way, but it's not a friendly way.
Yeah.
But when it comes to repairing something, we will be recommending to remove the top plate and then you can pop out the switch from the back because that's much easier. But we might be able to do it with a tool for end user, but not hot swappable. Yeah. Conclusion not there yet.
Will a metal puller be
So I
provided
think this
with
is about
purchase?
waterproofing, right? Isn't it usually to? Wait, Erik, are you still there?
Yes.
Oh,
Hello. I'm still here.
that's why I didn't hear Erik.
Oh.
Are we still live?
Yes, you are still live, and I'm here. Hello.
Oh, okay. We have Erik again. We are still live.
Don't forget to
Okay.
mute yourself because it's very annoying.
Oh yeah, got you.
Will metal puller be provided with the purchase? Because now you promised everyone a metal puller. I mean,
Well, I didn't promise anybody with metal puller yet, but this is kind of the thing. Is like we haven't come to a final conclusion yet, and we're trying to fix this. Let's call it an issue. So if we're able to fix it in a very, very well way, where the change means that the metal puller will be helpful, we'll provide the metal puller. If we fix it in a way where the metal puller will not even really help, then we're not going to provide the metal puller.
Yeah.
Yeah. But right now we're hanging in between, and it's really annoying because the technology part is it's just working. We already finished. Well,
The keyboard is working.
yeah,
Yeah, basically.
yeah.
But it's more like the switch itself is stuck there.
Yeah.
electrical part.
The electrical part is done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's say the sensor with the magnet reading the signal, the PCBA, which encapsulates the whole electrical part, done. When it comes to, let's say, the the reading all the software things that we want to do, that's all proof of concept still, not done yet. Yeah. But so annoying that the mechanical part is in the way now. Anyway, Okay, so is there any more questions? Any more questions or things that you want to bring up? Now's the time. So otherwise, we'll be closing down the stream.
Are you closing it down? Can you do it?
I don't know. Maybe you can do it.
I mean, I think we're sort of run out of steam, and we still need something to keep I would say, keep it exciting for the upcoming vlog. So it's something to look forward to, right?
Yeah, I mean the vlog's it's gonna be pretty fun because you're gonna see a couple of processes. I really hope, because I didn't check the material yet. I really hope the microphone didn't fuck up.
Or you have to record it, the voice again.
Yeah,
only
that
for
would
the
be
voice.
really sucks. That would suck so much. And I know pretty for sure that the B-roll is that we have B-roll, but it's probably not going to be the B-roll that
We'll be fine.
Yeah.
It will be fine. Well, thanks everyone for joining. I had a blast. I'm gonna do it again, but everybody be sure to follow us on Twitch because the last time was such a success. And this week we want more followers. I mean, at some point we should reach the 2K, right?
So now we keep looking that way because Erik is talking from there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, thanks everyone for watching, and also special thanks to Rogier Hofboer. I probably assume that you're the Rogier I met last Saturday. And yeah, that's it. Bye.
Alright. See you in the next live stream and vlogs.
Bye.
Bye bye.